When I was born, I was the fourth child after three daughters, a son. So I was brought home, and finally having a son meant that the blessing had to come from my father to me, and acceptance into our world had to be done by the father, and that meant that father would hold the child in his hand and whisper a prayer in his ear. So my mother brought me from the hospital and handed me to my dad dutifully. Here's your son, now do the prayer. So he takes me in his arm. This is what I was told. I wasn't aware. And he takes me in his arm and puts his lips to my ear. And instead of saying prayers, he goes, so after that, every day he would hold me in his arm and sing rhythms in my ear. Mm-hmm. So that became a routine. And so by the time I was 2 or 3 years old, I had a very confused brain. There was all this SHIT running around in there. and I had no clue what to do with it, and I was like, stop. And then suddenly someone stuck a tabla in front of me. So I was like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing with this stuff in my head. And so I started playing, and then he wouldn't teach me first. I mean, it was reverse psychology. Mm-hmm. He first got all the stuff inside me, messed up my mind totally, and then he sticks a tabla in front of me and walks away. It's like, so I'm like, okay. And so now I wanted that attention. It was such a comforting and, a hug of warmth and love and affection. And now it was gone. And I was left with all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I had to play to get his attention. Mm-hmm. By the time I was 7, I ended up playing one of these school concerts that he came for. And then he saw me play. And then he realized, okay, the reverse psychology has worked. He's hooked. So now that he saw that I was hooked, and that night at dinner, he tells me, so do you want to learn tabla? Was I waiting for that question? Of course. And I immediately said, yes, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And I'm getting his attention now. So he said, okay, tomorrow we'll start.